Hey everybody, and welcome to our festive edition of the Wellness That Works podcast.
For this episode, we had member Emily come and join us to talk all about the festive period. Seeing as Emily joined just a few days before Christmas 2 years ago, she's a great person to speak to about how to stay on track and just generally enjoy the festive period guilt-free. So I think it's been a really fun chat that we just had, and we can't wait for you to hear it.
Hey Emily, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. Feeling festive for this special edition podcast.
It's like my festive jumper.
I do. I'm not feeling festive enough for a Christmas jumper, but I did put some nice festive red on.
Yeah, we're in red.
Yeah,
we
we're
missed
in red.
out on the hat.
No hats allowed today.
So, obviously, you started your journey a week before Christmas a couple of years ago, which is why we thought it would be great to have you on the podcast today. So, what helped you to start your journey at that difficult time?
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? I decided to join literally about 10 days before Christmas rather than wait until January. I think, don't you, when you've kind of reached a point where you're like, oh, I'm fed up now. I feel rubbish in my clothes. I'm thinking there's so much to navigate around Christmas time, and I clearly don't have maybe the tools or the education to get through it properly. And I really don't want to be half a stone heavier by Christmas, because I know I will run a train on some mince pies. And I would like to feel in control so that I can start the new year already having made steps towards getting healthier. So that's why I did it.
That's good, and it's a bold decision to make, knowing what's coming around the corner on Christmas Day, and everybody, with you eating everything in sight. So what particular changes did you make? Is there anything significant that you sort of learned?
I think, like any new routine or healthy eating plan, there's a bit of feeling it out and getting used to it and learning about it. I think the changes that I made initially was really sort of learning how many points are in certain things that you have around Christmas, how to track it, what kind of healthy swaps that you might want to make as well. So it is a time when there's lots of lovely indulgent stuff and social occasions where you want to enjoy yourself. But I found things that I really like that I knew would help me stay on track, and things that actually I'm not that bothered about having a chocolate log. So I just won't this time, and save those points for the glass of mulled wine that I might want later instead. So it felt just more about learning about those Christmassy foods, what is better, what probably you can avoid if you want to, and then taking it from there, really.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about the smart points in products, because you can essentially have two products that you think are the same, but one can have much higher smart points.
Yeah.
So learning about that just before Christmas is a good thing.
And also just planning before you go anywhere, so if you are going to go to a Christmas market and I've got to have the mulled wine, it's tradition, just planning that within your allowance for the day is like quite straightforward when you think of it that way, but it's getting into that mentality of doing so.
Yeah, it is. It's the structure of it, I think, that just helps you stay a bit more in control, and it always felt amazing for me. It's that kind of that not thinking thing where you've got your right hand is in the tub of celebrations and you don't even realise till you've had 20.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do.
Yeah.
Is that actually when you put a bit of structure around it, you start thinking, I don't need that. I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Or,
Why
actually,
am I
I'll take a
going for
handful
it?
of 5 and I'll go sit on the sofa with them. I really enjoy them. It's those things where if you feel like you're going to be out of control, which I absolutely didn't quite know how to rein that and control that myself, that's when the WW plan was there to give me that guidance through that period.
Yeah, so you managed to enjoy Christmas without feeling like you'd, lost out.
That's the great thing about the plan, isn't it? There's no real sacrifices. You just have to make the choices that you want. It's about balancing things out. So you choose what you want to spend those points on and what actually you're really not that bothered about. And planning it in advance really helps as well. I don't find that it is really that difficult when you sit down and learn about the plan and track things and think more mindfully about what you really want.
Yeah.
I think
it's realising that you want healthy and to get to your healthy weight range more than you want that chocolate.
Yeah, I mean,
Or those
sometimes
10
I want the chocolate
chocolates.
more.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly, but it's making the choice, isn't it? And
Yeah,
knowing
yeah.
that you're in control.
Yeah, and if I want 10 celebrations, I will, but I probably won't have the mince pie later instead, and that's the choice I made. And I think maybe stay a bit more active as well over like the festive period and in fit points too. So to go for a walk on Christmas Day, I mean, and that's just one day, isn't it? But even throughout the whole of December is how can you enjoy those really nice, like crisp, wintry days and go for a little walk on a Sunday afternoon or something. And that was something that I wasn't doing before.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about the kind of the limbo period. There's the build up to Christmas, then you've got like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and then you've got that weird in between before New Year's. And I think a lot of people just fall out of every routine possible, even things like, do I leave the house today? You know, I could just watch Christmas
I get dressed
films.
today?
Yeah.
What day even is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody quite knows, do they? But
So I think having that knowledge of just saying, right, today, as long as I at least go for a brisk walk, I still feel like I've got some control of, you know, my life for starters.
Yeah.
And also then not feeling guilty for anything later on in the day.
Yeah, and I think Christmas Day is just one day, isn't it? But it's nice the whole period. But it doesn't mean that you have to miss out on those things. But those days when you are on the sofa and you're thinking there's a whole cheese board in the fridge that I could really make a hole in here or sometimes it's not you. You know, someone will say, "I'm making a sandwich. Do you want one?" And you go, yeah, of course.
Endless sandwiches.
Yeah, but just put some stuffing on it, put pigs and blankets on it, everything, load it up. But it's you can kind of catch yourself a little bit then and just say, actually, am I hungry? Do I need this? Do I want it? And that doesn't mean you should say no. If you really want it, then have it. But maybe just ask yourself that question: do I need this right now? Actually, it's 5 o'clock and I'm eating again in an hour.
Yeah,
because that's what it's like on those days, isn't it? You put the films on and you just like
But it's true. The build up. The build up is literally. I feel like 1st of December, I'm in Christmas.
Yeah.
I've already bought mince pies. You know, because the shops are saying it's Christmas in November. And like you say, the cheese board, well, I could make a dent in about 10 cheese boards before Christmas, before the actual day arrives. So, yeah, there is that sort of, it's all around, isn't it? It just sort of consumes you a bit.
There's so many other opportunities to balance things out, make healthy choices, and stay on track. It doesn't all have to go out the window just because it's December.
No. And do you attend your workshops over Christmas?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
I do.
Yeah, when we can. I love my coach. She's amazing. Big shout out to Shazza.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hi,
she's
Shazza.
great. Yeah, she's great. She's just the most supportive, enthusiastic, positive person I've probably ever met. And is so into Christmas and everything else. And so it's always good to have workshops there that you can keep checking into as well. And they're celebratory. They're not there to tell you off. You know, there's been more mince pies in my WW workshops, I think, than in my house sometimes. But it's nice to get together with those like-minded people who are navigating the same situations that you are.
Yeah, that's really good.
And I guess when you were a new member 2 years ago, you obviously made that decision to walk through a workshop's doors. And what was it about that kind of helped you with motivation and, you know, control, basically?
I think because it was just before Christmas, and I think my WW coach at the time was like, hello, what are you doing here? Everyone else waits until January. But what is nice, and again, we were talking earlier, is that if you kind of haven't really had a struggle with your weight either way throughout your life, sometimes people just don't quite understand where with WW, when you go to the workshops or Connect or Instagram, there's a little community there that are going through absolutely everything that you are, and there's always somebody to talk to, give some tips, share recipes with, just have a natter with, have a moan to, have a laugh with, that really just understand it and are on your wavelength. And to check in with those once a week is like hitting a reset button and giving you that motivation and inspiration, knowing that everybody else is on a journey with you. I think really helps. It does, especially if everyone's going into it the same.
I think you're right. The groups on Connect are they're so helpful, aren't they? And they're always full of tips and advice, and you know, people saying, "Oh, I found this product, and you know, this food that's this many smart points." So they're really helpful. And talking of smart points and weekly smart points, if I'd said to you at Christmas, what do you save your weeklies for, or is there anything in particular, or do you just go
We've
with the
all
flow?
talked a lot about cheese.
Yeah,
Mine's
Honestly, it
cheese.
probably is the cheese. I love a cheese board, I really do. But I am big on desserts as well. My mum always makes pavlova, but she also makes once a year and once a year only just the best bread sauce ever that I could sit and eat
I love
like
bread sauce.
soup. It's amazing stuff. I could
With
just
the
sit and
jar,
eat that. It's lush.
Yeah.
A little mince pie in front of the telly, and there's a lot of wine going round at Christmas, and I love a glass of red wine, so that's what I probably would spend my weeklies on.
And obviously we've just launched My WW, and I believe you're on green.
Team Green.
Yes. So how do you think green is going to help you during the festive period? I guess more points. So
Yeah. So I like having a lot of dailies, which I think is really good for occasions like where you've got a lot of social things coming up, or you might have extra indulgences, particularly in a day, because you have got your weeklies as well with green too, but you do have more dailies to spend on those things. So I find that useful. Navigating, eating out especially, really, really helpful. Having a drink here or there is really, really helpful to have the dailies. And I find it a bit more structured as well, which I like to make sure I can keep track of everything. I think for Purple Plan, personally, for me, is if someone tells me I can have unlimited roast potatoes, I am going to have unlimited roast potatoes. Thank you very much. And so I need that little bit more structure to really stay in control of the plan for me. So that's why I like green.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? You know what plan is for you based on exactly what you just said. If you think no, I'm absolutely go to town on potatoes, then I'm not gonna go onto purple. Green's for you.
Yeah,
So
it just really fits my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right, and
gives you confidence to stay in control.
hugely, yeah.
That's good.
And I guess just the caveat that no plan is better or worse than the
Then
other.
No, it just
Depends
fits
on
my
It's
suits
different
your life.
flexibility, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of
Yeah.
people that will love purple because they'll think, right, I'm going to home cook every single thing
Yeah.
this Christmas period. You know, I'm going to cook for all my friends and family so I know I can, create all the roast potatoes from scratch.
Yeah.
And that works for them.
A lot
but
of
then,
home cookers
yeah,
on
there's
purple.
a lot less
Yeah.
points for wine, and things like that.
yeah.
So, and then blue's obviously in the middle for that balance depending on what works. So I think they can all really work over the Christmas period just depending on what you need.
Yeah, it's so personal to what style you personally think would help your success, and what lifestyle and what events and things that you might have on, or just that fits with you and your family.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, over the festive period, obviously, if you are a wine drinker, then having the points there is definitely a bonus.
Huge.
You're making us sound like we all
I know, but we'll get to it later. But we've had a lot of questions about alcohol. haven't we?
True. I mean, is there brandy in these? We don't know.
We don't know.
So, obviously, drinks and going out.
Uh-huh.
There is this kind of stigma, I guess, around Christmas in terms of everyone wants to look their best, whether it's, meeting up with the girls that you haven't seen in a while, the Christmas day. Even though you're just sitting around, a lot of people get dressed up. And then there's obviously work, Christmas parties, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So how do you find that you now approach shopping, if you do even go and get something new, for those kind of occasions?
Christmas party outfits is the big one, isn't it? I think that we probably do put too much pressure on ourselves to get something new and sparkly as well. And everyone's been there where they feel absolutely rubbish in a shop changing room and nothing is quite working. You've got 10 layers on because it's cold outside and the lighting's terrible. But if you've got something in your wardrobe that you feel really nice in and it's comfortable, don't feel pressure to buy something new. Equally, if you want something new, then go out, find something that makes you feel really, really great. If you don't like doing it, I personally hate it. I'll buy online and I'll have a try-on party at home. So I will have a glass of wine, I'll put some music on that I really like, turn the lights down so they're nice and flattering, put my hair up, and then I will try things on at my own pace, having a nice time doing it. Just make a bit of occasion out of it because it makes it a bit less daunting to think, oh God, I've got to try on 4 outfits or whatever.
And why do they always put the worst lighting in the change rooms in the shops?
I don't know.
And all the mirrors.
Yeah.
The mirrors that go
Even
onto
too many
another
mirrors.
mirror.
I thought these shops wanted us to buy the clothes. I don't know what make it so it's such an awful experience sometimes, but Yeah, and maybe get somebody else round as well. Like if you've got a friend and that will give you an honest opinion and build you up as well, and makes you feel really good. Or ask your partner or your family. So what do you like seeing me in? What do you think I look my best in? What do I look happiest in?
Yeah.
And they'll give you some honest advice as well. I think it doesn't have to be this huge daunting thing, but you just want to feel really nice and comfortable. Often does that as well. I've got a couple of really good jumpsuits that like are a little bit oversized, and they've got a nice belt that nips you in at the middle, and that's always really nice too, because it feels dressed up but it's also comfortable, and you have a nice little waist, and also put some red lipstick on.
Red lipstick, yeah.
That's my thing. If I'm trying on clothes, I need my makeup on.
Yeah.
And then I can compare, the faces matching.
Yeah, don't get home from work tired, having not done your hair that day, and then try clothes on. It's not the way to go, is it? You're not going to feel your best.
No, not always, but try and see it as a fun thing rather than a daunting, horrible thing. There's outfits out there which you will feel fantastic in, but just try and be kind to yourself throughout that process, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just thinking about going back to food and Christmas Day. So what's on the menu for Christmas Day? Is it traditional roast dinner?
Yeah, it probably would be. For years growing up as a kid, we had curry on Christmas Day.
Did you?
Yeah. Because we used to go down
happen?
to my uncle's house on Boxing Day, and there'd be a huge spread of very traditional Christmas dinner. So we always thought, why do it 2 days in a row? So
you had the Boxing Day curry on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I didn't even know Boxing Day curry was a thing.
Didn't you?
No.
Turkey curry. Good leftover recipe that. And very easy to make, 0 smart points as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I did growing up. But this year will be a good traditional turkey dinner, I think. Or something we have chicken actually.
Do you?
Yeah, but all the trimmings.
Yeah.
And controversially, I put a Yorkshire pudding on a Christmas dinner. Some people don't think they belong.
Oh no, definitely Team
every
Yorkie.
roast dinner.
Yeah.
You cram it all inside, put the gravy on.
Yeah.
Love it.
Even the giant ones that turn into a bowl.
Let's do that. Put the Christmas dinner in the Yorkshire pudding. Yeah, love it.
And will you be cooking? Because I think, this is diverging away from what we were talking about, but a lot of people panic about the fact that they don't have the control of the cooking.
Yeah.
And I remember there were times when I was being a lot stricter and panicking with myself, and I'd go and watch my mum and be like, oh my God, you're putting so much oil on everything.
Yes.
Like, why are you doing that?
The butter.
Yeah. So how are you going to be cooking, or how are you going to be approaching that?
I think I will be cooking this year actually, which it does make it a bit easier
At
if
your
you want
house,
to do
or?
that. I think at my mum's house.
your mum's.
So she's got a much bigger, nicer kitchen than me. So they'll be locking me in the kitchen. I'm thinking of it. I love cooking anyway though, so I absolutely love it. So you are a little bit more in control, but again, I was reiterate, like, it's just one day. Don't worry too much if your mum wants to put goose fat on the potatoes. Like, that's okay. It's one day. The plan's there for you. Enjoy it while you can. Try not to panic about it, because you will only it will detract from how much you're enjoying the day. So I think I will be cooking. And I think look at recipes. I find it really interesting. Maybe it's just me. I'm like, how can I do my Brussels sprouts this year? There's always some food programs on telly before Christmas as well. A good thing. If you aren't cooking yourself, there are things that you can do to fill your plate with good stuff. If you really want to be super conscious on Christmas Day, do 2/3 of the veg, and then fill the last third with what I call the fun stuff. You get the
beige.
The beige stuff. You get the pigs in blankets and your meat and the Yorkshire pudding and the stuffing. But magical things happen to Christmas veg, doesn't it? When you roast it and put cheese on the Brussels sprouts and stuff. But I mean, it's common sense, and your WW app has the information as well. If you want to be more conscious and attract Christmas dinner, just use those 0 point stuff. Fill your plates with the things that are healthier.
Yeah, and do that. We've had a few members talking recently about how seeing family members after they may not have seen them since last Christmas, or for 6 months or so, is quite intimidating, especially if you're not where you want to be or looking how you want to look. Is there, have you ever had that in the past? Is there any sort of experiences?
It can be really tricky, can't it? Because we love our family, and that it makes people think they are in a position to comment on perhaps your physical appearance. And I don't think there's any way that you could take a negative comment where it doesn't hurt and upset you as a WW member or somebody that has struggled with their weight in the past. I think anybody who is listening that has had that knows more than perhaps anybody else. It kind of cuts quite deep, doesn't it? I don't think there's an easy way to navigate that. I really don't. But it just having your why in mind is that I'm doing this for me. Maybe it's for your kids or your family, or you want to feel and look great in your clothes, and that keep that in mind. And if you do get an offhand comment, which is very rarely, I'm sure, meant. In a nasty way.
I don't think people say it in a nasty way, but I think people forget themselves, and they may know or be expecting you to have lost more weight because you said you were on WW. But I think it's key for people to remember that they are in this situation, that they are learning how to have a healthy relationship with food.
Massively.
It's not a juice diet where the weight falls off.
It's
you are
long-term.
learning. It's long term. It's sustainable. It's your goals, not anybody else's.
Exactly.
So continue to feel good about your efforts.
And it's so much easier said than done to say, just let it roll off, let it not affect you, because it might.
Yes, it is.
And these are people that you love as well, so you might not want to, clap back. But it's just try and take it with a pinch of salt, I guess, and just remember why you're doing it, and that it is a lifestyle. Whether you've maybe gained a little weight or you've not lost as much as you thought, it could go the other way. People are like, oh, you look great, you've lost some weight. And say, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take it.
It's like, does that really need to be discussed at the table? And suddenly you're wary, should I finish that last roast potato? It can really mess with your head.
Why are people commenting on your weight either way?
And it can go either way in terms of, you could have the nan that goes, oh, looking a bit chubby, but you could also have the nan that says, finish your food. It really can be a different dynamic in so many different families. But one thing we were talking about, obviously we're both on social media a lot, and it's realizing you are not alone in that. There are so many people that go off on their phone after Christmas dinner and think, oh, so and so said that about me. But if that has happened, like you said, with Connect or Instagram, there's so many other people that can definitely relate. And then you don't feel as alone, and you think, actually, this is going to be what I need to make. I see it very much like, I'm going to prove you wrong. Blah, blah, 2020 now is going to be the time. And sometimes you need it to spur you on.
Sometimes. But I think also at that point, turn to your support network.
Absolutely. So, surround yourself with people that you love and are supportive of you as quickly as possible, I think. And that might be Connect as well.
Connect is fantastic for that.
Honestly, if you feel alone or that someone's been a bit mean to you, that community is full of people that will just build you up all day long. Everyone is so there for each other, and I guarantee you will not be the only one as well.
Yeah. And I guess, we've kind of talked about this a bit, but the idea of very much mindset and moderation. So you said about the 20 celebrations and things like that. How did you manage to kind of train your mind to think like that? Because I know earlier we were saying it is genuinely sometimes subconscious.
You don't really
look and
realise you've done it after you've done it.
Like, where's my right hand gone? It's buried in the tub. Mindset's hugely important for me. If my head is not in the game, as it were, then it's very easy for me to fall back into old habits. But I think with the plan is you just have to let yourself get excited about it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's Christmas, and actually there are these recipes, and there's a magazine I can read, and scroll through the app, talk to people on Connect, get excited about doing something different and into a new routine and planning for it. And if you're happy about doing something and finding the joy in that, it will be a breeze.
It's like you're your own project, aren't you? It's like, let's see some success with this project and feel good and feel.
It's not what you can't eat, it's what you can.
What you can do, how you can feel,
Use that opportunity, get the kids out of the house on Boxing Day and go for a run on the park. They'd love it. And you just have to get excited about the opportunity that's in it. And trying to stay focused. One thing I do with the tub of chocolates now, because it is a weakness, is keep them in the kitchen. And I'll take 10 and go and sit on the sofa, because as greedy as I am, I'm also very lazy. So I'm not going to be getting up off the sofa halfway through a Harry Potter film on Boxing Day to go and get more.
Absolutely not.
Just take what you feel like you want or you need. and I guess it's portions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really? A little
Yeah.
bit of what you fancy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
So obviously your mindset is much healthier than when you first started WW. Your health, your weight range is healthier. What would you say to yourself? What would you now say to your former, self? It's not your former self, but when you
like
first
before.
started, what would have been the most helpful advice given to you?
Probably is that I should have done it earlier for a start. I think I had it in my mind that it was going to be this big thing and I was going to have to live miserably for 6 months to lose some weight. And then, excuse me, and then, have to start the gym and everything else. And actually I didn't. I really started it as a learning experience. And everyone was so supportive at WW. I think, why didn't I do this earlier? And then probably just keep going.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could feel hard or, you don't feel particularly body confident that day, but keep going. It comes. It comes and it is lifestyle, and remember to enjoy it. And also that you don't have to wait until you're at your goal to love yourself and be kind to yourself throughout that journey. Every single step, you deserve that. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect because probably won't.
No.
You have to kind of
enjoy the journey. It's not all about the end goal.
It really
it's how
isn't.
you feel on the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't make yourself
Don't get hung
miserable.
up.
Don't get hung up. And don't put too much pressure on yourself either. I mean, just because, I don't know, Margaret lost 4 pounds this week and you lost half a pound, that doesn't matter. It is a lifestyle. It's slow and it's steady. It's about you and it's your approach and your plan. So, yeah, take it a step at a time and enjoy it.
Okay, so Emily, the next part of the podcast is the Your Questions round, where we've had some of our Instagram followers send in some questions, especially for you.
Hit me.
So...
Okay, I'll do the first one, shall I? The first one is from Jen Penn. How do you stop yourself saying, oh, go on then, at Christmas?
Oh, sometimes you don't, do you?
No.
It's Christmas. That's what your weeklies are there for. If you're on Green Plan, you have large dailies for those kind of things. But I think I touched on it a bit earlier. So just ask yourself, do I need this? Will I really enjoy it? Am I hungry? If the answer is yes, all those things, then go for it, track it, move on.
Nice. And like Sam said earlier, a lot of people have been asking a similar question to this from Lucinda Wellness. What is your favourite festive tipple, and is it a low point choice, or what would be your low point choice?
Talk about alcohol again. How long have we got?
I know.
Favourite tipple?
You're allowed to say one.
My go-to low Smart Point drinks is a gin and slimline tonic. It's just 2 points for a single, and you can make that really nice and festive as well. I put a bit of grapefruit and thyme in it, some rosemary in it, some spices and stuff. It's lovely. There's some really nice flavoured gins out there as well. My mum makes a great cocktail at Christmas called a poinsettier, and it's a cranberry juice and orange liqueur and some prosecco, and that's really nice and fruity. And it's Christmas. You've got to have a Baileys.
Yes.
You've got to have a Baileys.
Yeah.
Probably in moderation because, it's pure cream. But it's delicious. It has to be.
Yeah. Lovely.
Agree. Cool. So the next stage is the quick fire round. And we've done a special Christmas edition.
We have. So these questions you cannot think too much about. You just have to give us your answer as quickly as possible.
Try and stop me overthinking everything. Good luck.
Okay.
Cool. So Christmas Eve or Boxing Day?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas pudding or Yule log?
Yule log.
Ice skating or winter walk?
Or winter walk.
Too clumsy for ice skating.
Actually,
for me, I'm too scared.
I'm actually quite good at ice skating, but my other half is terrible at it, and it's hilarious. So I should probably pick ice skating.
You should go
for comedy value.
Yeah. Well-being, laughing,
laughter, positivity around the festive period. Yeah.
New Year's Eve, night in or night out?
Oh, I think night out, just for the big moment. I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do like it on the sofa as well, though.
Yeah. Turkey or beef?
Turkey.
Gingerbread man or snowman?
Gingerbread man.
He won't melt away.
I was just not going to eat him.
And the final one, All I Want for Christmas Is You or Last Christmas?
Last Christmas. Wham! Come on.
Yeah, come on.
George Michael's a bit of a theme on this podcast. He was in Fiona's dinner party
Yeah,
as well. So
keeps coming up.
maybe it's a WW thing.
Oh, we like George.
Love George.
Love George.
Cool. And then the final round is the dinner party round. So it would be great if you could pick 3 people that you would invite for your Christmas dinner party.
Okay, so I knew this was coming up, you see, and I've thought about it, but I've not landed on an answer. And what I think is,
Great.
am I doing the cooking? Because I'm going to invite 3 Michelin star chefs around. They can do the cooking, and I'll eat all 3
That
courses.
is a shout.
So,
Or maybe you
Pick your
pick
favourite
one
chef.
chef. Yeah.
One chef, if you're coming, you have to cook.
yeah,
Great idea.
yeah, everyone can bring their own dishes, and then I don't have to do anything. Great dinner party. Or maybe on the other side of it, just nice friends and family, I suppose, my other half. Or so I don't know, someone really exciting that we probably wouldn't get a chance to have a chat with now. So
anybody.
yeah,
You can pick anybody.
like Bowie or Freddie Mercury, really interesting people
Yeah.
that have had very colourful lives that I could get the true lowdown on what really happened, those kind of things. But I honestly just 3 chefs that will cook amazing food for me. That's it.
Brilliant answer. Love it. Well, thank you for being with us today. It's been a pleasure. It's
Yeah.
really good,
Amazing.
really
Thank you so
insightful, brilliant answers and tips and advice from
It's
you.
been really fun. Good girly chat.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening and watching. Make sure to keep an eye out on our social channels for our next podcast episode, and make sure to follow Emily on Instagram. She's hilarious and full of great inspiration. What is your handle, Emily?
It is Emily_WWUK.
Thanks. Cool. So have a great day, everyone, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.